Lying Ben Shapiro got caught lying again, which it's pretty easy to notice this because he lies all the time. And if you have an IQ above 90 and you're at all paying attention, I don't even really follow the guy because he's such a clown. But if you have average intelligence and you're at all paying attention to his nonsense, you're going to spot him lying all the time. But first of all, someone asked me yesterday, why do you hate Ben Shapiro so much? Well, all my life, I've had this thing where I hate con men. I think they're the lowest of the low. Think of those people that try and prey on old people and they run those scams over the phone or through emails. They're going after low-hanging fruit. They're going after the weakest, most vulnerable people in society that don't know any better, like older people. And essentially, that's what Ben Shapiro is. He's nothing more than a con man. And if you're working class, if you're white, if you're a Christian, it's insane to me that you would be a fan of this guy because ultimately what he's advocating is not in your best interests. Ben Shapiro is a guy that's funded by billionaires and he's paid to be their mouthpiece. He doesn't care anything about you. He certainly doesn't care about your Lord Jesus, and he doesn't care if you go to war and get blown up or if your kid gets hurt or killed. He doesn't care about that. To him, he's just doing what's best for him. And my first time ever learning about the existence of Ben Shapiro was maybe 4 years ago. I was watching TV and this show was on called Inside Edition. And basically this is a show that plays clips from other shows, internet videos. And this is around the time that Bruce Jenner was having his thing where he was all over the media. And they were having a debate. I think this was a show on CNN or one of those news channels. But Ben Shapiro was on as the supposed right-wing perspective. And they had some guy in a dress on to debate him. And Ben Shapiro stated that there's only two genders. And then the guy in the dress challenged Shapiro to a fight. And Ben Shapiro cowered. He visibly got afraid. And he just looked like a total sissy, like a total wimp. This is Ben Shapiro. And I was thinking, this guy's supposed to be a right-winger? This guy, you know, it's a stereotype, but usually you think of guys that are more right-wing or conservative. You think of those as more macho, manly guys, tough guys. And you think of liberals as the typical soy boys. Now, that's not always the case. There's tough liberal and left-wing guys, there's weak conservative and right-wing guys, so that's not always the case, but I was shocked. I'm like, this guy's supposed to be a right-winger? So that was my first experience with Ben Shapiro, but I've been talking about this guy a lot on this channel because he's just such a clown, and it's funny, in my one video where I called him out, like several months ago, I was calling him out, his fanboys even seem to acknowledge that, because I was just saying how basically all he cares about what's good for him, and people are saying, well, what do you expect? He's a capitalist. As a way to defend him, why would you cuck to someone like that you know, and you really know deep down a lot of his fans, this guy doesn't care about you. He's not looking out for your best interest. But let's get on to the lie of the day from Ben Shapiro. This is something I came across following Owen Benjamin on Instagram, and it's very funny because there's a lot of truth in it. Let's take a look at it here. So Ben Shapiro tweeted out, this was on the memorial of D-Day, 75 years ago, young Americans braved Nazi fire on beaches to liberate a continent and defend constitutional rights. And Stefan Molyneux tweeted his reply, I agree with the first part, but I am confused about the second. How was liberating France defending American constitutional rights? Exactly. It doesn't make any sense at all. Now, was this merely a mistake by Shapiro? Because some people got on me before in my other videos, oh, you don't like Shapiro just because he's not right all the time. Is this merely Shapiro making a mistake? Or does this guy know what he's doing? Is he knowingly lying? Ben Shapiro is not that smart of a guy, but he's not that dumb either. When he tweets these things out, he knows what he's doing. This is because Shapiro, he's a subverter. He's trying to infiltrate a movement and ultimately get people to be in favor of going along with things that are not in their best interest. So I bring this video to you with love because I can't stand people like this. And as I'm always saying, you want to believe in ideals, because ultimately people, anyone that's a human, they're always going to let you down. But keep your ideals, and of course, sometimes you might not live up to your ideals yourself. That's part of having high standards. And then maybe you do become kind of a hypocrite, which of course you want to avoid. No one likes a hypocrite, myself included. But when you live your life trying to have high standards, occasionally you fail to meet those standards yourself. But don't fall for a little snake in the grass like this guy. And there's a lot of guys out there, but this guy's been very visible. Thankfully, people are waking up to this guy. They're finding out that he's not that smart. He's not on their side. And he really exposed himself recently, acting like a baby on the BBC as soon as he found a guy to ask him a few harder questions and ask him to defend his position. He stormed out of the interview like a little baby. Shapiro's never going to debate anyone that's intelligent, that knows what they're talking about. He's never going to debate anyone like me. He's never going to debate anyone that's not... Well, typically, who's he like to debate? He likes to wreck feminists, which, if you think about it, that's not very hard to do. That's not really something to take pride in. He likes to go after people that are these crazy SJWs, but that's going after the low-hanging fruit. I don't respect a guy just because he's winning debates against people that are easy to debate in, and this guy is nothing more than a snake in the grass. But hopefully you're waking up and you're open to these ideas, and hopefully I know that if you're one of his fans, I know that you're a good person. That's why I bring these messages. This is why I attack him, because he's subverting people that are ultimately good people. His fans are great people and they mean well, but if they support his ideology, it's not in their best interest. It's not in the best interests of America. It's not in the best interests of the world. It's in the best interest of him and his people and these billionaires that fund him. So there you go. Keep happy. Check out some of the other videos, and we'll be back soon for you.